Good evening, Aston fans. Welcome to Villa4Ever podcast. I am host Chad Williams. This evening, I am joined by my special guest, Luke Robinson, who is the host of the Villa podcast. I'm doing the pre-match talk. Aston Villa versus Everton. It's the most played fixture in top flight football. First home game of the season. Absolutely can't wait to be at Villa Park again. And the atmosphere is going great. So, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. Thank you. Cheers for having me on your show. Looking forward to it.
I'm really happy to be on the show.
Thank you, mate.
I really like your enthusiasm and passion about our football club.
Yeah, I mean, I just love it, to be fair. So, yeah, I think when you're proper passionate about something, then you just express yourself how you want to, can't you? And then the love of whatever you're supporting just comes through. So, yeah, it's all good.
Also, all the Villa podcast team, you're doing a great job. I really enjoy the content.
Thanks, mate.
Well, so before we get into the talk show, Luke, I just thought to introduce myself and about my condition as well.
Yeah.
So I have Duchenne muscular dystrophy. It is a progressive fatal muscle wasting disease. Muscles deteriorate, leading to paralysis, to lung failure, and early death. Duchenne is 100% fatal, and there is currently no cure. Very few people live beyond the age of 30. It's very important that we need to create awareness of DMD today. I'm 27 years old now. Diagnosed when I was 3 years old. 24 years on, and there is still no cure for this cruel disease. Please help spread awareness. So Luke, could you use some awareness for me?
I can do, yeah. Don't worry, yeah.
Thank you. It really means a lot. Okay, well, let's get into it then. Where did the idea of the Villa podcast come from? And what was the inspiration for it?
It was in lockdown, really, in COVID. I was doing a few little score predictions on Twitter and just chatting on Twitter quite a lot, and I just kind of felt like just starting a podcast. So I just went for it and just started one, and yeah, it just snowballed, really. I mean, if you go back to the first ever episode, it's not the best, but you know, we've evolved and become what we are today. So just with hard work and dedication to it. So yeah, that's how it started in COVID, and we've just sort of grown it to what it's become now.
Did you win a podcast award?
Yeah, so last season we were nominated for the best newcomers. So we went to like the Football Content Awards, and we went to that. So we made it to the final. We didn't win, but yeah, just to get to a final was pretty good, to be fair.
I really enjoy the fan cams.
Yeah, they're all right. I like those as well, because I think the best thing you can do and see is like raw passion from watching your team. And I think when we do the fan cams, it's literally like you've walked out the ground and you're talking in front of a camera, and then you go back home, you do a bit of a match preview, match reaction, and it's a bit more. You collected your thoughts and then debrief. You have a little bit of a look tactics and how we actually did play. So you go on that journey of coming out the ground to, assessing it a couple of hours later. And yeah, fan cams, they're always good, to be fair.
Do you always do it after the match as
Yeah,
well?
so so we do the fan cam straight after the home games. We always do those, and then we do the away ones when we go to the away ones when we can get tickets. So yeah, we try and do them for every game that we go to, really.
I've come to one of.
Yeah, definitely. Like, we'll be there on Sunday after the games, and anyone can come on. You've just got to turn up and see us there. So yeah, we do them at sort of like the back of the Trinity Road. So where there's like sometimes a stage before the games, that's where we do them. So if you want to come on, you're more than welcome to come on.
Cheers. So on to the next question now. How did you get your podcast team together? Did you know each other before?
Kind of. I used to work at Tony and Guy in Sutton Coldfield, and I used to cut Ryan's hair, and we used to just talk about the Villa for 45 minutes, and then that was it. So I used to cut his hair, and then Justin, he's got a family business in Sutton, Ted's Potatoes, and I used to go on my lunch sometimes and get like a jacket potato with cheese and beans or something on top. And I used to just talk to Justin about the Villa, and they were on the first ever episode. I kind of wanted it to be like a football phone-in to start with, but then I realised that, you'd have people on and their camera quality wasn't very good, or they didn't have mics, and we just evolved it that it was just going to be me, Justin, and Ryan, and we went with that for probably about a year, and then Hannah started writing on Ryan's website, and then Hannah became on board. So that sort of like made the main team of Up the Villa podcast. So I kind of did know him, but I didn't know him as well as what I know him now. Like, we literally talk to each other every single day. Whenever there's a bit of Villa news, we'll just talk to each other about it. So that's how the team came together.
You both feature really all of you do.
Thank you, mate.
Well, we'll get into the negative now. Then it's an absolute disaster last. What is your assessment for the Newcastle guy? What's your thoughts?
I mean, like I said about how we do our content, it's always good to reflect and have a look. And I mean, I was at the game, and you were watching it, and I felt like first half, at half time, I was like, you know what, we've played all right here. I think we were well in the game. The Mings injury was just terrible. I mean, it's horrible seeing us do it, but imagine being a player that sort of is surrounded by Mings day in, day out. They have a bond, they have a togetherness, and to see him leave on a stretcher, I think he's just, it would knock anyone. So I do think that partly had a bit of, what went wrong. But to me, it wasn't the Aston Villa that we've seen last season. It just felt off. It just felt the team selection was slightly wrong, in my opinion. I think players just lost their way. I think, it was just, it ended up just being a bit of a disaster. But I think I'd prefer that to happen on the first day of the season as opposed to happening midway or, towards the end when we need to win to get, in Europe or something. So I think it was probably an eye-opener for Emery, the players, an eye-opener for the fans. But, we've got to bounce back, and I believe Emery will have them this week, training, looking at videos, assessing what went wrong, and then we've got to be bang at it on Sunday. So huge wake-up call, but not the end of the world.
You know Emery this way. What I like about him is his attention to detail. Because he always looks back at the videos where they can improve as well.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's one of his massive plus points. His meticulous detail, his tactical analysis, his man-to-man management. And I imagine that this week, I don't think they'll have actually probably spent much time on the pitch. I think they'd have spent
Yeah.
most of it watching videos. So, I think we're obviously in the right hands, but I just think there was just something lacking last week.
But I was very disappointed. The defence was 3-3. I mean, it was too easy for Newcastle. I think we can deal with Tanane. Also, the whole line was definitely not active. Because usually that whole line, it usually works, but this time it didn't. So yeah, worst performance under Unai Emery, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, that high line, like you've just said, I think we've done that ever since Unai's came in, and it's always worked a treat, hasn't it? But I just think we just got it horribly wrong. And you know, when you get something like a high line horribly wrong, it looks like an absolute disaster.
Yeah.
And that's what ended up happening. So I imagine that they've been working on it and assessing it all week, really.
Yeah, I think we're just going to move on now. Just move on from it now.
Yeah, definitely.
So did you think when Tyrone Mings injured, the lost confidence?
Yeah, I think, you know, he's an absolute massive player for Villa. He gets a lot of criticism. You'll hear the comment of he makes loads of mistakes, but I think those mistakes are few and far between, to be fair. He's a massive leader for that team. He galvanises the team. He keeps the whole defence in check with, you know, his positional awareness, offset pieces. He's sort of like the second sort of point of call. Wally Watkins goes near post, Mings goes second post. So I think having him not in the team, you know, was a blow, really. And I just think they lost their way, and he's going to need kind of replacing and someone to step up and fulfill what he does, because he's going to be a massive miss. I think he's going to be a bigger miss than what Buendia is.
Yeah, because I think Tyrone Mings, I was annoyed over the years all the unfair criticism he gets. But he's one of the most important players of our team.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think a lot of opposition teams give him a lot of stick as well. I mean, I remember the Leeds games where fans were sort of singing chants about him, but you know, last season he'd have walked straight into a Leeds United back four. So I think he gets quite a bit of like unjust criticism, really, because you know he's really good.
Also, he has very good leadership qualities. And when he's on the pitch, we were completely disorganised. I fell to pieces.
Yeah, we did, to be fair. So, I mean, now he's not going to be out. We're going to have to look to change the back line, and whether it's Pau, Carlos Conso, and a Cash, or vice versa with a new left back, because it looks like Luca Dean's going. So, I think we're going to have to just find everybody's qualities, and hopefully they can all step up in his absence.
Well, very bad news after Villa fans. Tyrone has sustained a serious injury. After undergoing scans, he will require surgery. He's expected to be out for the season. I'm absolutely gutted. I think most Villa fans feel the same.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I think it's a massive blow, and especially with a couple of days before with Buendia as well, and sort of been hit with like a meteorite plowing through our squad. So yeah, it's a massive blow, but yes, we got to step it up now, and not sort of dwell on it too much, and hopefully the squad can look forward now.
Should we have dealt with Tonali better?
I just think the whole midfield got roughed up, especially off Jolinton. I think he absolutely destroyed us, to be fair, with his aggression. And I just don't think we were ready for it. I think their midfield does complement itself quite nicely with Gomeres, Tonali, and Jolinton, but that physical aspect, that physical pressing nature that they've got, I just felt like it was we couldn't live with them. To be fair, we couldn't get a foothold, couldn't get a grip on it at times, and it just needed someone to sort of put their foot through one of them, but unfortunately we didn't.
Well, I don't really usually criticise Kamara, but do you think he should have done better, maybe? With the
Yeah,
closing down?
I think Kamara had a bad game. To be fair, I think he had a bad game. Bailey had a bad game. Cash had a bad game. Luis was okay, but I think that our right hand side got completely overrun. You know, I think Bailey was a big problem. I think he was making Cash isolated, which just was enabling them to just run through us with Gordon, Jolinton. So, yeah, I think a couple of them had really bad games.
So we're going to positive now. So who was your player of the match?
Diaby from a Villa point of view, I think Diaby showed us in that 90 minutes that maybe he was on the pitch what he's all about. Electric, pacey, direct, head up, look for a pass. His vision's good. His finish was just sublime on the half volley. So I think he showed us a glimpse and a taster of what he's all about. So I think Diaby would be my man of the match.
Well, I thought he looked very good. He's very exciting forward. His pace electric, like you just said. So he took his goal very confidently. He made some clever runs in the channels. Well, such a quality player.
Yeah, I agree. I think his movement was good, and yeah, I agree with your whole assessment. Really, he was the one bright spark in a difficult 11. Really, so yeah, if that's a glimpse of what he's all about, then I'm really looking forward to seeing him playing more in a Villa shirt.
So we'll talk about the Everton game now. What do you expect from the Everton game on Sunday? How should we set up tactically?
I expect a reaction. I expect a win. I expect a positive performance. I think there'll be a couple of changes. I think Bailey will come out the team. I think the defence will look a little bit different. I just think they need to just get back to where they were pre-Newcastle, really. I think we're going to have a lot of possession. I think we'll look to dominate. I think we'll have too much for them. I think that the pace we've got can really trouble their back line. I think as long as we check out the set pieces and corners and free kicks and stop that from happening and the ball's being pumped into the box, I think we should have a dominant performance at home, really. I think the players are going to have to, react to that game. And I think it's a good fixture for us to do so.
Well, the Everton game plan, they'll be so pressure. They try to catch on the break. Score from a set piece. So going back to Emery, you try something different tactically. You're pretty good as we cancer alongside either Diego Carlos for Thomas. Also, we have the fullbacks pushing further forward. And also, you looked about that from last weekend's utter disaster. We need to be a lot better defensively. Who know Emery, though, we won't stand for that anyway.
No, I agree. I mean, I've done my little lineup. What I'd go with, and I'd go with Pau on the left, Ponce, Carlos, and Cash. I think I can really see him doing that. I think, dare I say it, their weakest side is their left-hand side. And I think, Villa fans won't like me saying this, but I think that side's got Ashley Young in it. So I think we've just got to try and exploit their left-hand side. Iwobi likes to cut inside as well, so it leaves space, leaves their left-back isolated, so I can see Cash pushing forward, like you say. And it's going to be difficult because you know what you're going to get from a Sean Dyche side, don't you? It's going to be gritty, aggressive, organised, compact. I think they lack a bit of pace as well. So I think as long as our high line's okay and it doesn't get exposed, then I see a Villa victory.
But what Sean Dyche really managed Burnley. He did a good job there.
Yeah, I like Dyche, to be fair. I like Everton as well. I like them as a football club. I like their fan base. I think Dyche has got good principles of how he wants a team to be and how he wants a team to look, like working hard, and I kind of like that. But I think tactically, I think if I'm saying who head to head of Emery and Sean Dyche, then I think Emery should tactically have his number, I think.
Don't cost you a drink of water before we carry on. Can you scroll down a bit as well? The other one. Also, another thing I forgot to mention as well, Luke.
Yeah.
Young would be against his own club. Hopefully he will score against us. As long as we let him go. We should have given him at least a 1-year contract.
Yeah, it's a weird one, really, because if you look at sort of letting him go and then only having Cash on the right, it kind of does leave us a bit weaker. So I was under the understanding that all pre-season we're working towards sort of having 3 centre-backs across the back line and then a left-back. With that, it kind of makes sense. But the fact that now Mings is injured, it kind of leaves us not able to necessarily do that. So I really like Ashley Young. But for me, I did feel like it was probably time for him to move on. I think Villa are kind of going in a different direction. And I just felt like, if Emery wasn't going to play him week in, week out, then it probably was the best decision to let him go, in my opinion.
With his experience,
yeah,
we could have done with him from that Newcastle guy. It seemed to drop a little bit.
Yeah, I think you do lose that experience, don't you, from someone like Ashley Young? So, yeah, I think we've got to just trust Emery and trust Emery's plan, and hopefully it works out in the end.
That's it. We got to trust process.
Yeah, that's the one.
Do you think Sean Dyche's Everton will be better this season?
Yeah, I do. I think I've tipped them to finish about 13th, 12th, 13th, and I think that would be a good season from them. So I think they'll be more organised. They don't need a goal scorer, though. They don't have a striker. So until they get a striker, they probably are going to struggle for a bit. But I think if they get a striker in, they should be okay this season.
In my opinion, I've always liked Sean Dyche. But what I like about his teams is they're very organised. They're hard to break down. But since Everton, he steadied the ship. But he hasn't had that to work to do still. The Everton are sort of average, really. Don't play spectacular football. Average.
Yeah, they're okay. I like Onana. I think Onana's a good player. And apart from that, there's not really anyone that I'd want in the Villa team, to be fair. So yeah, they're just okay. I think there's a bit of a gap going to start forming between the top 10 and the rest of the Premier League. I think there's a couple of clubs that are probably in the middle zone, but I think the Premier League sort of, there's the top half and the bottom that aren't that great, and I think I think there's a bit of a gap going to start to form, to be fair.
Some good comments coming in, everyone. Thank you for all the great comments. So Nick, are you slightly worried about Conference League player, especially after our last performance?
No, I'm not worried at all, to be fair. I think we're a far superior team to Hibs and the other team, so we'll have to see how it goes tonight with that game. But it looks like it'll be Hibs. But yeah, I'm fully expecting us to make the group stage.
Yeah, we should easily get through to the group stage.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, to be honest, I'm concerned. But it's nothing to get used to. We need to adapt to it very quick as well. Because we're playing on Thursday, Sunday. Hopefully some more additions before the end of the window. We'll definitely need it now. Especially with the injuries we've got.
Yeah, I mean, if you read the rumours at the minute, it looks like Acuna's coming in, Zaniolo's coming in as well. So I think those two will add something to the team that we currently don't have: aggression, unpredictability. So with those two hopefully coming in, potentially maybe another defender coming in, and I think then we've got to focus on that forward line, maybe someone to play instead of Watkins as well. So I think Villa will be active in this window still, and I expect more signings to come in.
Will we expected those signings, do you know?
Well, I think that Zaniolo's having a medical today, so hopefully that'll be announced tonight or tomorrow. Acuna, we're in talks with Seville for him as well, so hopefully before the game, Acuna will come in. So I think hopefully by next week we should have those two players in.
Do you think we'll still keep Luka Dean?
No, I think he's definitely going.
Does he get that Acuna? He would probably be him.
Yeah, so I think it'll be Moreno and Acuna on that left-hand side for the left-back position.
Zaniolo, I've heard he's a very good player.
Yeah, I mean, when he was at Roma, he was touted to be the next Totti. So I think if you get that accolade thrown at you, you must have something about you. So he's had a couple of injuries, which have probably set him back a little bit. But I think he's going to add something a little bit different to what Bailey does anyway.
He brought Zaniolo in, didn't he?
Yeah, we did, yeah, Roma.
Roma, that's it. Good, I'll go to the next question now.
Yeah.
What's your score prediction?
I'm going to go for a convincing 3-1 Villa win. That's what I'm going with. What are you going with?
I'll go with 3-1 as well.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
And Luke as well, could you spread the word about my podcast?
Definitely. If you tag me when later on, if you do a Twitter or anything, and then I'll retweet it all for you as well, and I'll do a post for you as well.
Thank you. You can look at get my subscribers up.
Yeah, you need to get them up.
Well, I think this episode to a close, Luke.
Yeah, it's been brilliant, mate. I've loved coming on.
Thank you everyone for watching. If you enjoyed this podcast, please give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and make sure to get post notifications turned on. Also, please leave your thoughts in the comment section. Thank you so much, Nick, for your time.
Yeah, anytime, mate. Anytime.
The last thing that's to say is up the Villa.
Up the Villa.